Hi, it's me. I'm back after only seconds of being done talking. Oh yay, homicide! Today we're talking about killing people. So, we got to talk about killing people. I'm going to talk about the common law first. Common law has the following types of murder: first degree, second degree, reckless, involuntary manslaughter, voluntary manslaughter, I guess, and then negligent homicide. Flop these two around in terms of order of severity, and you've got them correct. Most of these do carry over to the MPC because the MPC allows everything but second degree, I believe. Yes, they do allow reckless murder, but they never use it. So, what is the different kinds of murders? So, first degree, under the common law, first versus second degree are specific intent. It's did you plan or did you not? Did you premeditate it? We've all heard the term premeditated murder. Yeah, first degree murder is premeditated, second degree is non-premeditated, but still purpose, still a specific intent. The common law does not recognize, or sorry, the MPC does not recognize that distinction. Next, you have reckless murder, murder with a depraved heart. You didn't intend it, but you were being such a rat piece of just terrible person that we're actually just gonna attribute to you general intent or specific intent. I'm trying to recall the examples provided. I'll pull one up actually because I can, if no one minds. No one minds because no one's watching. Let me pull up reckless. So let me find reckless. Might want to type in that second S. Murder. My apologies. Yeah, it doesn't look like there is. I don't have a good case. Oh, here we go. Right. So the dog owners. So there's this dog. It's the worst dog. I don't like dogs very much. So I don't like dogs. So I'm not surprised at a dog, but it's just a terrible dog. It attacks people and it bites them and it jumps on them, and the owners don't care. They just don't care. And they get angry when people correct them, and they yell at the police when the police come and be like, "Hey, you can't put your dog away." And they think it's kind of funny. They laugh when they hear about the attacks. And then someone dies. Someone gets killed by the dog. That shows a depraved heart, right? That you thought this was funny, that these risks didn't matter to you, that you sat by and watched the dog attack someone and didn't do anything. Yeah, that's a depraved heart. Not very common, hard to test on, hard to really have, but it does exist. Malice can be also implied. Malice does not even be expressed. Again, mind you, this is common law. If you're in my class, which I believe about 5 of you of the 10 people who watch are, yes, it's basically untestable, but it's also only common law. So on our exam, which is MPC based, don't need to worry about this. That's a big thank you to my man Solotov, right? Is that how you say his name? Solov, not Solov. I don't know why I keep thinking there's a T in his name. It's just Solov. I've forgotten all my professors' names already, and I'm not even done with finals. Anyway, so reckless murder. Then we go on to involuntary manslaughter. Sorry, voluntary manslaughter. Voluntary manslaughter is you murdered somebody. You did a second-degree murder, but you have this excuse. The excuse is sort of heat of the passion. You can't have had a cooling off period. It needs to have actually been something that would set someone off. Cheating spouses is the go-to. Words cannot be provocation, by the way. But yeah, cheating spouses is generally the only one that this gets used for, and that'll be the question on the test if common law murder ever gets tested. Common law murder gets tested on, or homicide. But yeah, it's pretty much just your spouse cheated on you. You can find that as objectionable as you want. I think it kind of makes sense as the exception, like, oh, crap. I just walked in on my actual nightmare. And I'm going to blow some brains. Yeah, generally, it's sort of it's only going to happen once sort of thing, and if you believe in the kind of punishment of we only punish people who we think are really going to repeat, then, yeah, makes sense. Though, Again, it depends on what theory of punishment you prefer. I also do tend to agree with the whole argument, though, that it's more likely to be men doing it, but I then cite to the whole point of men commit all of the murders anyway. Sorry, women. To be fair, we mostly do it to other men, but men are by far more likely to commit murders than women. Make whatever arguments you wish based on that. Anyway, back to, involuntary manslaughter. You negligently murdered somebody, basically. Recklessly murdered somebody, negligently murdered. This is specific. This is general intent. You didn't do it on purpose, but you did murder somebody. And then there's negligent homicide, which is you did something negligent and you killed somebody with it. This uses common law gross negligence, I think this just uses common law standard negligence, whereas gross negligence is for involuntary manslaughter. But we can check, because I have so many charts related to this exact thing and basically nothing else. Sorry, that I made. Let me go to the common law, manslaughter. Yeah, manslaughter is reckless or negligent. My apologies. Negligent homicide is NPC, not common law. Speaking of NPC, what are your murders under the NPC? First degree, extreme emotional distress manslaughter. You have negligent homicide, and then you also have involuntary manslaughter. You might say, wait a minute. What happened to all the different kinds of murder? There's only one kind of murder. Yeah, oh well. They also do recognize depraved heart murder. They call it reckless murder. Kind of hard to test on, won't really be tested on. Has to have the depraved heart as usual. But first degree murder. You knew it was going to happen or you intended for it to happen. It's knowingly or purposely. So generally, I believe the mens rea would be listed as knowingly, because any mens rea above the mens rea, if you can prove it, shows it, right? So sometimes it might be kind of hard to argue that they were negligent for whatever reason, but it was obviously intended to do it. There you go. That's helpful. As for, yes, you can argue that. Yeah, it makes it easier for the prosecutor. So back to the different murders. So if it's knowing, if you basically murder with the NPC it's just a second mens rea question, which I think is dumb, but there you go. So it's purposeful and knowingly is first degree. Recklessly is either reckless murder, which requires that depraved heart, and then there's negligent homicide, which can also be involuntary manslaughter, but that's generally requires recklessness, I believe. Let me check the chart. Yes, yeah, regular manslaughter, and then there's also extreme emotional disturbance manslaughter, which is very similar to the common law sort of, my spouse is cheating on me. However, it's basically anything. Any provocation it's basically a defense. Any provocation can be brought up and said, whoa, you should treat this as an extreme emotional disturbance. You basically have to prove to a jury of your peers that it was an extreme emotional disturbance. That it was a reasonable extreme emotional disturbance. That's the thing. The NPC is sort of lenient there, that if you can convince 12 people, so, it's kind of less jury instruction. It's just, do you think that this is a reasonable excuse for a guy to have murdered somebody? This guy burned his Hot Wheels collection. Should he be allowed to murder someone who destroys all of his precious Hot Wheels? I think it depends on how many of the Hot Wheels you owned, right? If you had every single Hot Wheel, yeah, I think that's a fair excuse. I think if someone destroys your collection of every single, Hot Wheel mint condition in the box, yeah, that's understandable. But it's like my Hot Wheel collection of 6 cars that my uncle bought for me that I've played with a bunch and are kind of rusty. That's not a great excuse. I don't think most people would accept the Hot Wheels collection theory that I just proposed, but I would, so you would get a hung jury at least. That's my one thing I hate about criminal law, is that it's all up to the jury, and juries make bad decisions sometimes. I make bad decisions all the time. So yeah, there you go. That is murder. There's also felony murder, so I guess I should talk about that here. Felony murder rule under the common law is if you're in the middle of a felony and you murder someone in furtherance of the felony murder. There's a couple other small rules that I guess I can pull up. There's also, NPC has it, but it's for a listed set of crimes. Oh, also the felony has to be inherently dangerous under the common law. That's the rule I was missing. Under the NPC, it's a list of, I think, 6 felonies. It's like burglary, rape, arson. I'm not going to list all of them, but it's an open book test for me. I'll list them right now, though, since I can pull them up, if I can find them. I cannot seem to find them, so let me scroll down just so I have it. Let me see. There it is. NPC. Yeah. Oh, flight, kidnapping, and that's all of them. Oh, robbery, which is the same thing as burglary. I'm aware they're technically different. I'm not going to worry about that, though. The common law, yeah, inherently dangerous. And then it also has to be an independent felony, by the way. So basically, under the common law, if not under the NPC, no merger rule. Under the common law, if the felony is battery, you can't charge felony murder on battery, right? So if I beat someone to death, you have to either prove that I intended to do it, I had a specific intent to murder them, or you have to use one of the general intents like manslaughter. Yeah, no merger, because that would just make it so that anyone who ever kills anyone could immediately be charged with murder, and the mens rea disappears. Because felony murder is strict liability. Feel how you will about that. I think it's a little strange, but I'm also a little underwhelmed by the NPC's approach to mens rea, generally speaking, so I actually like strict liability. You'll be somewhat surprised here. I think strict liability is the best liability. If you kill someone, there should be a strict liability version of murder, right? If you kill someone and we can get a jury of 12 people to agree that you're the responsible party, yeah, I think you should go to jail even if you didn't intend it or you weren't negligent or reckless. If you can get 12 people to sit there, but I think ultimately the jury ends up just going, oh, well, of course they were negligent. They killed someone. And that's the other problem, is these things are so technical that a jury's going to have problems parsing these kind of specific issues that you're trying to make. And if criminal law is ultimately just a bunch of jury instructions, which it is procedurally speaking, then I think jury instructions need to be as simple as possible. I think that if you can't teach it if you have to teach it in a law school course, you've got a problem. I think it should be fairly obvious. But,